Howdy do.
Hiya, hot stuff. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Battle Bros podcast. Don't adjust your viewing devices. I can't say TV anymore because you probably don't watch this on a TV. It might be on your phone, tablet, whatever. Don't adjust your viewing devices. Yes, this really is us, the Battle Bros. My name is Mac. This handsome son of a bitch over here is Alamo.
What's happening?
And welcome. So, if you have not been here before, we hope you kick back and enjoy the conversation that we're going to have tonight. And if you've been here before, hey, what's up there? Good looking. Good to see you again.
What's that?
All right. I don't know why I just did the clicky thing, but so we're two guys that have known each other for we're two wild and crazy guys. No, I'm just kidding.
They've known each other for way too long, as you can tell.
And if you're old enough to get that reference, you're not old at all. You're just well matured and well seasoned in life. And
correct.
We fucking love you for that. So
that's right.
Yeah. Huzzah! Anyway, so welcome to the show. If you caught us last week, that was episode 040, episode 40. We talked about fortitude and why that's important in your military life and going out of your military life and whatnot, your post-military career, we should say. Yes. But this week we're going to do something just a little bit different. This is going to be, I think, a really awesome show. We have a special guest on that is going to talk to us about the organization that he is associated with. You may know them as an organization. You may know the organization from their mission set and whatnot. They're called Mission 22, and they are a nonprofit organization which is all about combating the epidemic of veteran suicide. So, which is, kind of near and dear to our hearts because, that's what we're all about. So
that's right.
It's going to be a good one. So, what do you say? We bring on our guest and
absolutely.
Let's kick this pig.
All right.
So everybody, welcome to the show, Jerry Strickland. He is the one of the regional leader ambassadors for Mission 22. Jerry, thank you so much for joining the.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Awesome stuff, man. So Jerry, give us a little bit of background, man. Where are you from? Do you like long walks on the beach, all that good shit? What's your favorite kind of beer?
As a matter of fact, I very much love long walks on the beach. I'm a tourist. My favorite color is clear. I love to sit on the TV and watch the couch.
Yes. Sarcasm right off the bat. Clean up aisle 5. Somebody spilled a case of sarcasm. Clean up on aisle 5, please. Thank you.
I tell you, love it. I'm not conceited. I'm convinced.
Hey,
I like it. I like it,
nice.
Sir.
Yeah, so I'm a Florida native. I was born in Sanford, Florida. I've been bouncing back and forth from here in South Carolina most of my life, but I got into Mission 22 about 5 or 6 years ago through my Jeeping community. I was part of a Jeep club, and we do a big, huge Jeep event over here in Daytona, and a buddy of mine who was with Mission 22 reached out to me, and he's like, "Man, we'd like to possibly get the Jeep event to get Mission 22 to be a benefactor of it." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, definitely. I'm all about it. Let's get together." And we hit it off. And next thing I know, he's like, "Dude, you help out enough. Come join us." And I hit the ground running, and now I'm one of the region leaders for Mission 22.
And that's amazing too, because we were just kind of bullshitting here for a few minutes ago, right before we went live on the podcast, and you were saying so you are a field tech where you were working on a project which I was oblivious to until about 10 minutes ago, where they're adding on and making a whole nother park as part of the Universal Orlando Resort, and I was just like, what?
It's okay. I mean, there's like really, really big rocks in Tampa, so apparently you must have been under one.
Listen here, we're gonna let that one slide. Okay, it's all good. I get enough shit from this guy. Let's
That was awesome.
Fuck that. Whatever. It's all good.
That was awesome.
No, but so you were just saying that you do like you work like 65 hours. You put in like 65 hours this week. Doing all the different things you do in the field and stuff. How do you find time to juggle all these things, man? Like you do. So correct me if I'm wrong. You do this job where you're working. You just work 65 hours this week.
Yeah.
Helping to build and construct a new theme park. Which, if you folks aren't aware, if you're under a rock like me, pull your ass out from under it and check out Universal Orlando Epic Universe, because holy shit,
it's gonna be dope.
It's going to be fucking amazeballs is what it
It's
is.
Number
epic. 2. Yeah. So you do that. You're involved with, I think you were talking about being involved with a Jeep crew that does Jeep Beach. You like design like the obstacle courses out there for the people.
I run the lead committee. I'm the lead builder and designer for the Jeep Beach obstacle course. All the obstacle courses that go into the infield of the Daytona International Speedway when we do that event. I take off about 2 weeks.
No kidding.
We bring in about 3,000 yards of dirt and material and all, and we build it in about 10 days. We build it and then we take it all down in 2 days.
Damn, I didn't even realize that was it. I literally thought that was out of the beach. Maybe I'm just kind of an idiot.
Well, when we initially started it was at the beach, but it had gotten into, when we just did the census report for Jeep Beach for this year, we brought about, I think they said it was a couple $1 million that we brought to the Daytona Beach area, and Jeep Beach this year will be giving away, I think, $625,000 to charities.
Damn, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yep, and it's an all Jeep event, and of course, Mission 22 is one of the benefactors and stuff as well. We sign up. The Jeep Beach's biggest deals that they do their donations for is military first responders, and then pets, and then children. Those are their 3 major ones. They do help other ones, but when it comes down to their criteria base, those are the 3 majors that they focus on. And then, I have my field tech job. I very much enjoy what I do. I work by myself and I work on construction equipment for a living, and I get to see some of the cool stuff. I've literally been out at the Kennedy Space Center, working on the Falcon 9 rockets, out on the launch pads. I've been on every deal. I was even out there when they were filming the Transformers and stuff like that.
Nice.
Back in the day, I took photos of the last shuttle right before it got launched, and then when they went to fly it out to California and all that stuff. So that is we do have a good time, and it does get to be a struggle. Because I have my wife and my daughter, and when we do a lot of events, we try to plan a lot of them for like Saturdays and Sundays. Sometimes we have to do a Friday event or something. And we do our part because you guys already did your part. We have to pick up where you left off to help the guys that are walking through the darkness and that are struggling, and help them transition back to the civilian life.
Well, so, we appreciate that, dude. But I just kind of, while you were explaining all this like awesome shit that you're involved with and have your hands in, I just thought of like those Dos Equis commercials, like he's the most interesting man in the world. Like, here he is on our show. Ta-da! Like, it's fucking cool.
No, it's a great dude, and it is funny. Like this evening, because I got a shop out here at my house. So in my spare time, I own a Jeep off-road shop and stuff like that. So like I'm building 4-wheel drives. I got a Cherokee in there I'm working on right now, and we do like lift kits and rims and tires, like all the cool stuff that you see that you want to do to a vehicle and stuff. Like I get to spend other people's money and build their Jeeps and trucks and stuff. So even though I can't afford it, I can at least build somebody else's. So I can be like, oh man, that's some cool shit.
But see, that's cool though, because you put your heart and soul to that shit, and even though it's not yours, you vicariously live through that owner. And just be like, yeah, I made that. Yeah.
Exactly.
You better enjoy, and when it's good, you do some awesome shit and some epic shit. You better send me some pictures.
Oh yeah.
Fucking awesome. So Jerry, so you said you were born and raised in Sanford, which is funny enough. That's actually where my National Guard armory was, right there on First Street in Sanford.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fond memories of going to Sanford, dude.
I was
it's a
born
fun
at
town.
the old tax office. It used to be the hospital back in the day.
No kidding. That's awesome.
Well, that's where I started, but yeah, ultimately.
So, Jerry, are you military veteran yourself, or
No? I tried to go in. I made it. I did my placement tests, made it out to MEPS, and I failed in my hearing test. Where they put me in that soundproof chamber where you got to hit the buttons, and I ended up not being able to get a medical waiver because of my selective hearing that I have, and then my tinnitus and stuff. But it is what it is. I mean, and I'm trying to do my part now. At least I can say I tried, at least. But
yeah, sure,
but it is what it is.
You want to talk about one of the scariest places in the whole universe, like that little damn booth where you hear those fucking beeping noises. You're like,
oh man,
did I hear it? I'm just gonna smash the button. Like, okay, wait for the noise. Wait for the noise.
There's like 8 people in this room, and it's like you got and it's all black. It's got dividers in there, and you put your earmuffs on, and you got a button, and you have to just sit there and hit the damn button. I'm like, really? And I'm sitting there, and I tell you what, when I was trying to do it, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to time this. I was like, I'm going to count 5 seconds and then hit it. And I'm like,
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
and then the lady came across. She said, "Don't hit the button until you hear the beep." I said, "I hear a beep."
Those you! Are so claustrophobic too, man. Oh, they're so claustrophobic. I'm not a claustrophobic person, but like, holy shit! Like, you sit there and you're just like.
I guarantee you could find some of the most A++ personalities of people in the military. I'm talking snake-eating green beanies. I'm talking SEALs. I'm talking Rangers. I'm talking TACPs, JTACs. And these guys are all like just cock-strong motherfuckers, like out there doing their thing. You put them in that booth and they start to double guess themselves. Like, shit, did I hear that noise?
Yeah, right.
Straight up, man. That thing is
only one, but I was like, oh well.
It's like that. It's like Bob Boucher's mom said in that fucking movie. It's like, this thing is the devil. Like, that's straight up, man.
Exactly.
Foosball is the devil. Anyway, so you ended up not going in because of your hearing and whatnot. So you kind of have been working, a few different things. You said you've been a field tech for 16 years. You work pretty much primarily on construction equipment and whatnot.
Yeah.
So then you said you got approached by a buddy of yours. How did you first start working with Mission 22? Like, was it like full time? Was it part time? Was it just kind of like, hey, I got a buddy of mine that does stuff? Tell us about that.
And that's the deal. I mean, because my wife and my daughter and I mean, we've always worked with nonprofits. I mean, we have some of our close friends that we do with one of them is Hope Reigns. They work with children with autism. It's in equine therapy. They work with children with autism with horses. So we worked with them. We have another friend that they own Possibility. They work with animal rescue and stuff like that. So we've always been the given type of family, but the suicide awareness, the prevention, and walking that dark path is always literally hit home for us because it's something that we relate to. So when my buddy had hit me up about it, and then he's like, dude, he's like, come join Mission 22. You've been there. You understand a lot of this stuff, all the way down from the medications, the therapies, and the dark roads that a lot of these guys go down. Even though you wasn't military based, a lot of the stuff that you have had dealt with is a lot of the same relatable incidents. And I'm like, dude, I was like, you're right. I was like. And I was like, I love my military. I love my country. I'd give anything for it. I mean, unfortunately, it was in my cards to not join. But so I'm like, maybe this is what I was meant to do. And I started out, and after started off as just a regular ambassador, and then shortly after they asked me to be a state leader, and my wife and my daughter and I we travel all over, and then they asked me to take on the region job, which I still still do my base in Florida, just because Florida is one of the most active states in the country when it comes to Mission 22. When we're doing events and all, I mean, we rock and roll down here. I mean, our active veteran military base in the state of Florida is one of the largest, especially when it comes to the retirement. So we are always out and about, spreading awareness, talking to people, shaking hands, kissing babies, boots on the ground, whatever you like to call it. I mean, just touch people's hearts and their thoughts, and letting them know who we are and what we're here for, and I mean, letting them know that they ain't alone.
I think I read somewhere that like Florida is one of the most populous states when it comes to the veteran community. A lot of people come down here retire. Like here, I mean, especially with me being out in Tampa, it's like, you know, General Schwarzkopf retired out here because he retired after being the commander of CENTCOM right here at MacDill, and you know he just retired and lived over on the golf course Atla.
What's funny about Florida, when you talk about veterans in the state, and when you go from like Tampa to Orlando, it's not like the 10s or 15s or 20,000s. It's the 100,000s to like the low millions of veterans that come to the state. I mean, it is heavily populated for active military and veterans alike. I mean, we literally have National Guards all over the daggone place.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But and that's why. I mean, look how many National Guards we have in the state of Florida, and that's because this is where a lot of guys finish off their tour of duty. They do their simple enlistments into the National Guards to finish off their group, and so I mean that's why they're all down here.
Yeah. I don't know, my
entire career.
I don't know. I just kind of see it as kind of like a grace of God type of thing. It's like, you know, you didn't get into the military but you wanted to serve your country in a big way.
Yeah.
And, you know, he kind of, even though at the time you didn't want to do anything other than probably the military, I would imagine, he redirected you in a way where you could still serve the country by serving those who serve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's basically what we're doing.
And I feel like that by itself is service to your country, no matter how small of a job you think you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just want to let you know from the bottom of our hearts here, we appreciate that, man.
Amen, brother.
Because losing our brothers and sisters every day is, you know, it's a big fucking deal.
It definitely sucks.
Yeah.
It's the worst type of pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's why, you know, when Alamo told me about this interview coming up, and he said, he's got this guy coming up. I'm like, okay. He goes, he was Mission 22. I'm like, no shit. Like that's awesome. Like, yeah, it's a collaboration. It's a collab. Yeah. It's awesome. Good stuff.
So here's the deal. Like when we were talking the other day, so one of the main reasons why I got into Mission 22 was for the battling of suicide awareness and prevention as a whole, but I wanted to really dial it in, and so I was really focusing. I wanted to focus it into the military, because that's literally like a 3% of the group of the suicide in the nation, but it's a group that I can relate to and I can touch. Me personally, my dad took his life. I battled suicide. I mean, I've literally tasted the gun. I mean, I know what it's like. I've been down there. I have taken the gun out of my friend's hand that was about to shoot himself. My wife has been over to another buddy of mine's house where after he put 3 bullet holes through his roof. We've lost a couple of close friends of ours to suicide on top of my dad. And I mean, I had to go through a lot of therapy. I did a lot of the medication, and that's where I was able to relate to a lot of the stuff. And being that my dad was my best friend, I mean, it fucked me up really, really, really good. To be honest with you, I used to play golf. I was a fucking funny ass golfer because I'm covered in tattoos and I'd always wear shorts and stuff. But I was actually going golfing the morning that I found out that my dad took his life, and I have yet to pick up a pair of clubs since, because I'll be honest, I'm terrified that I'm going to get a phone call if I do.
Yeah.
And
I can relate to that.
And that type of stuff. So that was one of my wholehearted reasons when they had asked me. I'm like, dude, I was like, yes. I was like, I can fucking make a difference. And getting out, talking to people, raising awareness. I mean, literally my shirt, my tent and stuff says suicide on it. We're out here. We're united in war against veteran suicide, working with families and stuff. And so when it comes to us talking at a booth and stuff, I mean, we have no bullshit. We are like hard, cut, dry. Like when I'm out speaking, or they ask me to come on or I'll do an event. It was funny as shit, dude. I had to do a speaking deal, a computer deal like we're doing now. I was a panelist for a hospital down in Miami, and I'm like, I'm going to tell you guys at the beginning of this that I am not editing. I'm going to tell y'all how I talk. And so there's no like shock and awe. And I'm like, this is some fucked up shit.
I'm like a shot of bourbon. It's going straight to the head, no filter. So
yeah. I mean,
I love it.
Even when I spoke at a high school, and I told the teacher before I came, I was like, I'm telling you guys, I was like, we're going to talk about suicide awareness and prevention. And I said, and we're going to touch on what I do, and we're going to talk about youth suicide. I said, but I am there to make you guys uncomfortable. I was like, if I'm not making you uncomfortable enough to really make you say, shit, he's right, then I am not pushing what we're really about enough, because there are so many people that are uncomfortable about talking about suicide and death and shit like that. So when we're out at the booth and we are talking about the uncomfortable stuff, and I mean, and that's what we do. And then we get you in our programs.
Jerry, let me interrupt you for just a minute. You know, I'm glad you brought that up, because you talked about speaking in front of these high school kids and just making it uncomfortable. That's kind of important. I mean, because I can remember, dude, I remember being, so Alamo and I were in high school. He was a freshman. I was a senior when 9/11 happened. And then also my senior year of high school, I took a 9 weeks elective course called The History of the Vietnam War with one of the best teachers I ever had, Bruce Burnham, who was also a Vietnam vet. And it was cool because we had a couple of different times. So like once a week, we'd have a veteran come in, and they would just kind of tell you their story of how they ended up serving in Vietnam. And the first guy that we had, for the life of me, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was a special forces guy. And he was like, yeah, we were going down a trail, and this kid shows up, and he had C4 and stuff attached to him. So I shot him, and he rolled into the ditch and fucking blew up. Yeah. It was either, and I'm not trying to dramatize or glamorize, war and conflict, because it's not. It's its own entity with many different faces and personalities and whatnot. But just for him to regale that story,
angels and demons. Let's not forget that one.
A fucking minute of that, brother. But like, just for him to tell that story very unabashedly and just be like, yeah, I was going home at the end of the day. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. You're
very matter of fact,
losing side. Very matter of fact.
You got to be that way.
There's I guess what I'm trying to say is there's just so much truth, and just truth that's been laid bare when you just come about it in that way. When we talk, like, we've had a couple of times on this show where we just had like just raw emotion come out. I don't want to get too far into those because we'll go off in a way off in a direction. But I think especially, and this isn't me trying to be trying to get into the woke pedestal and all this shit, but like people need to hear that stuff. It's like when people get like when they sugarcoat shit, like, I hate sugarcoating. Are you a piece of candy? No. Then get off it, okay?
Yeah.
Like
I am super sweet, man. I wouldn't vote in the rain.
That's a different kind of sweet, Jerry. All right, listen, I'm sweet. I'm sweet on the fact that you're sweet to people, so that's all good and fine there, brother. But no, I appreciate that. Like, people need to hear that kind of shit, especially like even if it is ugly. It's like this is a little bit of a stretch of the comparison, but like when you're in 5th grade and you're getting those sex ed classes and they're showing you like just that awful picture, you're just like, oh god, never mind. I'm gonna be a freaking monk. I don't want to do any of that crap. Jesus, it's just terrible. But
and it's one of those things that too, like when the unfortunate thing is like everybody wants to be sensitive to everyone's feelings and this, that, and the other. And you know what? Okay, there to a certain degree, yes, there's an understandability to that, but at the same time, you have to be frank about the way the world works, because I think a large part of the problem that we have as to why people end up in the situations that they're in. I mean, shit, people during COVID, people that come out of college and have to deal with the real fucking world after freaking having dealt with only high school and college, and all these other things. They're not being told how the real world works. Yeah, because it's about let's have a safe place and a safe space for them to and they express themselves and this, that, and the other. And then when they get out in the world,
let's not get too far into the weeds here, Alamo. I know I just did it, but
I know, but I'll finish this and I'll shut up.
I got you.
But like when you find out that the world doesn't give a shit what you feel or think,
no,
it's a humbling situation.
Yeah. No, and I tell you, we're talking about Vietnam vets. I'll tell you one guy, my auto mechanics teacher, Mr. Butcher. That dude went to Vietnam when he was 17 and a half, 18 years old, because they were taking the draft. Dude was 18 years old, head full of white hair when he came back from Vietnam. Never had color hair again. And he wasn't the only one. He said a couple guys in his unit, full head of gray hair whenever he came back.
Yeah, but that's kind of a look, though, man. That's not a bad look. I mean, nowadays
for the
Fox, baby.
And what the Vietnam errors were told was, suck it up, don't be a little bitch, get over it, swallow it, and keep on going.
You bring up a good point too, Jerry, because and I'm sorry to cut you off again, man, but
you cut me off.
If my memory is so bad, dude, if I don't talk about it now, I'll be like, you're like, what were we talking about? You're like, fuck, I don't know. But like, I remember,
that big?
Squirrel. But no, so when Alamo and I were working together, we worked in firearms retail at a place here in Tampa, and it was cool because I met this guy used to come in, and he was a Vietnam vet, gray hair, great freaking Manchu kind of grizzly old man mustache and stuff. And I mean, it wasn't as glorious as that. You got chin locks coming off of that shit, man, and that's magnanimous. All right, this guy just had the old school Manchu, and I was like, all right, that looks good on its own. But you could tell he was a warrant officer because he had the old school warrant officer insignia. And I was like, hey, Chief. He goes, how the hell did you know that? I'm like, your phone case? He goes, okay. And we got to kind of know each other a little bit. And he was like, of all the shit that the guys in my generation, the Vietnam vets, went through, he goes, we'll be damned if we're going to let it happen to you guys, you young bucks that are actually going over there and you've got the support of the country behind you. So it's like, we're going to make sure that bullshit that getting spit on and called baby killers, like that ain't happened to you guys. Right. We ain't going to let it. And it's like, I guess, GWAT veterans, myself especially, I can't speak for Alamo, but probably, we just kind of got that special kinship with Vietnam vets. It's like, you got guys who went over there and did an impossible job.
Anytime we see a Vietnam vet, man, we always tell them, welcome home. One of the first things, hey, man, thanks for your service. Welcome home. Because they got such a bullshit deal whenever they came back. So we're just making up for lost time.
Yeah, they never got that kind of stuff, and I agree. Automatically, it's a hey, brother, welcome home.
So the Vietnam era literally had the highest suicide rates out of all of the age groups for military. Right now, it's like the 21 to 35, the tail end of the Afghan war. Some of the newer stuff that's been going on, like Kabul, Afghanistan, and stuff like that. Those guys that are coming back, that has gone up. It's like 100 or 200%. Don't hold me to the exact figure, but it has literally like cut the Vietnam era suicide in half on the lead. And if you reach out or talk to any of like the VFW or the American Legions, they are literally campaigning to get younger veterans that did 4, 6, and 8 year services into their groups, not to boost their numbers, but just to say, hey, we know what the fuck you're about to be going through. Come here so we can talk, and you got a spot to vent and know that you're not alone and stuff like that. And we relate to a lot of those people like that, and we remind them, hey, there's a lot of places. I mean, because we're nationwide. It doesn't matter if you're in New York, California, Florida, Montana. All of our programs are nationwide. I'll tell you real quick. We have a scholarship program. If you're just mildly battling your PTSD, wanting to do something different, we do a scholarship program for CrossFit, Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's a 6-month scholarship where you find a local gym. You sign up on mission22.com. You find a local gym. We send you a card. You give that to the gym, and then we cover your expenses for that gym. We do, I think, 3, 6, and 12-month increments.
Oh, shit. That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
If you've never done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that is literally like playing chess with your body. That is some of the best head game therapy that you can imagine. You don't have time to think. You don't have time to make a warped reality. You don't have time to do anything. And when you are done training BJJ, you aren't just physically exhausted. You are mentally exhausted because you're literally playing chess with your body against another person, and you're trying to think 2, 3, 4 moves ahead while doing defense, and it's amazing. Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. That's interesting. I've never thought about it like that before.
Oh, dude, from someone that's done BJJ. I'm telling you, it is. Just don't do combat BJJ, because then you start getting smacked around too much, and that right there is a trigger, and it's a whole different world.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I don't take too well to getting smacked around.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, who's your?
I probably just I don't want to do this anymore.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And don't let that beard fool you. He's got BJJ's blood running his veins. He's like,
yeah. So we got for our major in-depth PTSD. I mean, like, if you're really, really battling, we are not an immediate flip the switch, you're okay. Our in-depth is a 12-month long period. And that is, I mean, we send you a Garmin watch. We do supplements it's all natural supplements through a company called Amora. It helps with headaches, mood swings, sleepless nights. When we first started our supplement program, when you signed up for it, you actually went and did a blood sample and submitted the blood sample, and then we were tailoring a packet for you. My wife's like sneaking behind me right now. It's amazing. She just crawled across the floor.
This guy did it one time. We had his wife on one show, and she was in another room of his house. So all of a sudden, his camera just goes dark. He's like slow crawling in through the house and stuff, just to fix the camera while she's on the thing. Like does all this stuff. Then he comes back and he's just like,
I was adjusting her mic.
Yes.
Sure you are.
It was so funny. It was hilarious because I didn't even know. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, Oh, he
Yeah.
says,
It's funny that you had a mic when you were doing all your feet pictures, but
oh,
we
shit.
got all the supplements. And now we got it all dialed in after doing like so many thousands of them. We got them dialed in. So it's headaches, mood swings, sleepless nights, and stuff like that. It's amazing. After like literally like 3 days of taking these, you're like, shit. I think I feel different. I think I slept better last night. I mean, it's that kind of, you have like aha moments when you do it. Then you start doing you have a health coach. We get you on a meal plan, getting you on a diet. The gym's membership is part of this as well. So we have your scholarship for the gym. We send you books. You do group therapy in groups of 10. So you're working with a group, doing different competitions to kind of get your camaraderie back. And you got each other to lean on and deal with and stuff if you so choose. And then we have different phases of it. One of the phases, we actually send you a brain deal. It's a scanner. It just like hooks on your head. And you do meditations through your cell phone app. And you can see your brainwave activity to see how you are excelling in your meditation and how you sleep and stuff, and you wear it at certain times, and it's part of your therapy and stuff as well. And then the Garmin watch is a phenomenal tool. I mean, it monitors your sleeping, or whether it be deep sleep, light sleep, or REM sleep, your oxygen saturation, your heart rate, and all that stuff as well. So all that stuff is factored in into your diet. So it's when it's all said and done, you get evaluated at the end, and then we say, okay, we're going to put you in through again. And basically, the in transition is to transition you mind, body, and spirit back to civilian life.
Yeah,
and
nice.
It's free.
That's awesome.
Everything that we do for our active military and veterans is at no cost. By donations, selling our merchandise and stuff like that. That is how everything is paid for.
I'm sure that probably comes up a lot. You get people who are like, listen, I really need help, but man, I don't have 2 dimes to rub together to my name. And you can just look there and go, hey, it's free. That must be just an amazing sense of relief for these guys that come up, man.
All you got to do is go on to mission22.com and sign up. That's the hardest part when you sign up. And we don't do a phone number. And the reason why we don't do a phone number to call is for one reason. We don't want you to fall through the crack. If someone doesn't answer that phone, if we're not there 24 hours, you need to be dealt with. So we have a sign up deal. That way, as soon as you sign up, it goes to a specific person. Well, it's a group of people. And then they will respond back. Well, what are you wanting to do? Okay, this is the program. We have this available coming up. Because everything's fun based. I mean, we're still in the grand scheme of it. I mean, we literally pay out. I think last year we did a little like 1.2 or almost $2 million out into our programs, and that's literally a drop in the bucket. And it doesn't matter what era you're at. We're not just a post 9/11. You can be Vietnam, Korea. I mean, we all have our demons. And if you have them, that's what we're here for. I mean, you sign up, we vet you out, you send in your DD-214 and stuff like that. We have certain criteria that you have to go through. And if you don't fit one of our programs, we have other partner programs that we work with, other nonprofits that we can send you and get you connected with. So you basically, no one goes home alone or without anything. But we try to get you into one of our programs, of course.
And that's something that I have found, like, being a veteran is great, but I feel so proud to be a part of the GWAT generation, just because it seems like you have so many guys, there's so many of these nonprofits that have popped up. I mean, you've got Mission 22, you've got, another good example is Warrior's Heart, which is out, I believe, in Texas with Tom Spooner. You're talking to a guy who was like Delta Force.
Yeah.
I mean, big old, crazy, gnarly looking beard. Yeah. And you got, and it just seems like that's what it makes me most proud of this my generation of veterans. Like, we've just kind of taken that camaraderie. We're like, hey, you know what? We're gonna keep that camaraderie going, and we're gonna look out for each other. Like, you've got, there's another organization called the Next Mission or whatnot. But there's just so many there's too many to list in any time of a brief time period, because there's just so many of them, and it's like, yeah, absolutely, man. Let's get the help out there where it's needed, and just not let these people be forgotten. And it's like,
damn
fuck
right,
yeah,
man.
absolutely.
I tell you real quick, my brother, he's retired Navy, Navy SEAL and all that stuff, and he had spent the last 22, 24 years. I mean, he did full term, and we've reconnected more because of Mission 22 than we had through most of his military career. I mean, one, he was hardly ever even in the country, but he retired out in San Diego. But he was only out there for a couple of years whenever he was here. I mean, pretty much the entire time he was here, he was on leave. He hardly ever spent any time, multiple tours all over the place. But when they actually moved back here to Florida, and he is in our Mission 22 program, and because he had been following me on Facebook, saw what we were doing, and we got to talking when he came back, and he's like, I mean, he would be over here just vetting. I mean, just going to town about some of the shit that just went down. I mean, and I could tell you it was definitely some dark stuff. And he's like, man, I want to get into it. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm here for you. We got soda, water, beer, coffee, whatever we want in the fridge and stuff. And we got the pool and jacuzzi and stuff out back to come and chill. But I said, hey, I really want to help you. And I got him signed up in our program, and he's like, dude, he's like, I had no idea that I was that bad off. He's like, I thought I had some issues until he really started going off. He's like, holy shit. It doesn't matter. But I know for a fact that what we do makes a difference. I mean, we talk to the right people sometimes, and we get the right people in. And I mean, we're literally in the business for saving life. And yes, I am a volunteer. I don't get paid to do any of this shit. I travel all over with my wife and family. There is only a handful of paid people with Mission 22. We make, I think, 85, 86, 87% of our money brought in actually goes to what it's supposed to go to. We run our whole deal on about 12 or 13% of the net money that comes into our organization. All the region leaders and below, we are all volunteers.
That's amazing. That's so awesome. So if somebody has questions, about where to look into for resources, where do they need to go to check out Mission 22?
Mission22.com.
Just a website. Just go on there.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we were on Facebook, Instagram, and stuff like that. But literally, whether you're wanting to get into our program as a active military or a veteran, or you're someone like me, I mean, wanting to pay back and help out, or you've lost someone, even if you're a spouse, if you can do something. Our programs are available for them as well. But if you're wanting to be an ambassador and help save lives, more or less, go on to mission22.com and on the clip downs, it has different stuff. I mean, you want to buy shirts, hats, or just see what we're doing. That's it. That's our one main point of contact.
Is that the best way that somebody, let's say they want to help out, they're not exactly sure what they can do. If they want to help out, they can, I imagine, they can go on your website, buy merch, and then that merch, price of that merch goes straight into funding these programs that you have for everybody.
Even if you want to go on there and say, hey, I want to donate $20, there's a spot for that on there. If you want to buy a hat or a shirt. Now, me personally, I suggest you buy a shirt, because if you watch this show tonight, you had the ins and outs of what Mission 22 is. You know what we're about. So go buy a shirt and walk down the street, and you're gonna have 100 people read that shirt in one day. And if you wear that shirt once a month, at least one person a month is probably going to walk up, either shake your hand or say thank you, or read your shirt and say, I like that. Or don't be surprised if you ain't got some dude or chick come up crying on your shoulder saying, I can't thank you enough for wearing that shirt. I know exactly what that shirt means.
The only bad thing I see about people wearing a shirt, we got some standards to live up to, Jerry. You don't have that glorious man beard coming off of there, and we're rocking that shirt and shit. It's like, that's the only bad thing. It's like, I would wear it, and I'd just be like, I feel like a cleanly shorn sheep that is just standing out in the field going, well, shit, I can't pull that look off. But,
it's okay. Hey, I like that smooth face stuff too. I mean, it cuts down on the chafing.
Nice.
Jerry, you are rapidly becoming one of my favorite people. I'm a good man. But speaking of, what you were just talking about somebody coming, I was wondering if the last thing you could do is retell that story that you told me in Alamo last night about I'm not sure if it was either the tent or the rock climbing thing where the dude just came up to you and just collapsed on you and shit.
Yeah.
I forget which one of those stories it was, but either one of those would be fantastic. If you could just retell that to everybody watching, that would be.
It happened at two recent events that happened to, but the one event I was telling you about, you guys, it wasn't even an event. We were just like randomly, my wife, my daughter, my brother, we were at a local rock climbing, one of those indoor rock climbing facilities, and a lot of times we wear our Mission 22 shirts out. I personally, I love the shirts. They breathe well and stuff like that. So we were wearing it and just hanging out, and we were in and they were rocking along, crowded. And the owner of the rock climbing place, he just was walking through the crowd and asking everyone how they were enjoying the event or the day, and if they were having a good time and stuff. And
good customer service in this day and age. What?
Yeah, it's funny. Well, small town.
Right.
But it was just like one of those times where you just like randomly catch someone's eyes and like you connected, and I caught this dude's eye. Well, he caught my eye, and he's walking towards me, and I'm like,
it was a beard. It was a beard, wasn't it? He saw that beard, and he's just like, I glanced, I saw him, and he was walking, and I could see that he was looking at me, and I looked away, and then I looked back, and he was still looking at me, and it was like 15 feet out, and he was getting closer and closer and closer, and we were standing, facing each other more or less, and we were just all kind of like nonchalantly talking. And by the time the guy got to me, we were eye to eye, and his face just melted. Just started bawling, and never met the guy before, never seen him in my life, and I just gave the dude a hug, and he's like just crying on my shoulder. For a few minutes, and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, for what? He's like, I couldn't handle this, and I'm like, that's what we're here for. I was like, dude, it's a shoulder to cry on. I was like, you're battling. I was like, I know what you're doing. I was like, it ain't no surprise. I was like, I'm here for you. I was like, you want to go talk? You need it? And he's like, no, man. He's like, I'm good. He's like, I was reading your shirt, and he's like, and it's funny. He's like, I didn't put it together, and then I was reading it, and I immediately thought about my sister that took her life, and I couldn't stop thinking about it, And he said, by the time I got to you, he said, literally, with a wave of emotions just came over the top of me. He's like, I just broke down, and I was like, dude, I was like, I get it. I said, that's what we're here for. I was like, we take the taboo out of suicide. We take the taboo out of death, about people killing themselves. And we're here to let people know that they don't walk through the darkness alone, that their life is worth living, and that there's other people that fucking care. Regardless of how shitty your life is or what you have going on, you can find care in a complete stranger and not be judged. And that's what we do. I will be someone you've never met.
I might be the person you'll never see again, but at that point in time that you do need one of us, whether it's anywhere in the damn country, there's always a Mission 22 ambassador that cares and has no problem talking with you and walking through the darkness with you. And I mean, it was just that random time, and that's when I found out that he was the owner and all that shit. So I'm like, hell yeah, dude! And we paid our deal, and we fucking go climbed on a bunch of fucking rocks until I fell off and landed on my ass on some foam pad.
I wasn't aware of that part of the story, but it just kind of adds a nice little poignant touch to it. So
yeah, well, I mean. We called it bouldering.
Bouldering.
Yeah, that's when you're climbing. Yeah. That's when you're climbing, but you only go up so high without the actual harness attached. And it's like all different kind of activities. It's called bouldering. And then when you do your full belay and stuff like that, that's where you actually have the belay and you go up and stuff like that. But it's a good time, and it's all nice foam padding. It's a blast, and that's a phenomenal workout. I mean, anything that you can change your trigger of your mindset is the key thing. I mean, we've all been down where we start thinking about dark roads and start thinking about dark ideas, and just finding something that you can use as a trigger to change. Your train of thought is your main thing that anybody can do to get into a better way of life is to choose, hey, I'm ready to make a change. Now let's do it. I mean, I've looked at photos of positive moments in my life and happy stuff, or going off and making great memories with, whether you're your wife or husband or daughter or son or buddy or fucking random stranger. High five someone going down the road for all I care and make a fucking good time out of it. But and you never know. All the way down to holding the door open for someone. Yeah. The simplest things in life can make the biggest drastic changes to you or someone else, because you don't know what they're going through, and they don't know what you're going through.
That is absolutely and 100% unequivocally true. Like you just never know. You never know what somebody else is going through, and you just it's arrogant and foolish of us to think, oh, they're doing all right. You don't know.
Yeah,
you really don't. Well, Alamo, did you have anything you want to add to our lovely episode here, man? I'm riding on cloud 9 right now, dude. This whole show
a little too much.
Oh, dude, are you shitting me? It's great when we have a topic that we can sit and discuss, but it's equally and also in a very different sense great that we can just sit back and let somebody else talk, because I had laryngitis last week, so I'm resting my voice. So just let this person talk. But it's just also we also kind of get to be that nice intermediary. We are the host of the show, but we're kind of letting this person over here just kind of take it and run with it, and we're just kind of
take the lead.
Yeah, take the lead. And we're also just he's just kind of drifting off the screen. Now that's not funny. See, that's something else I've had to learn too. It's for the people that are going to be listening to this on the podcast, channels like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, audio only. It's you're not going to get the sight jokes, so it's okay. But it's all good. But I really enjoy having a guest on, because sometimes when it's just the two of us sitting here chit chatting, I'm like, do we sound stupid right now? Alamo's going to look good and just a little bit. So, I appreciate anybody that can come onto the show and just kind of, make it a little bit different by adding that other personality in here.
Make things sound a little bit more intelligent
and professional.
I definitely ain't going to say intelligible. I struggle to speak regular English and stuff. Right now. I'm like, holy shit.
I use the word fuck to supplement a lot of smart sounding words, and it just makes me sound angry, but I get the point across. So
yeah, I just got a really big tongue, so I try to get all my proper words out without just kind of slurring through everything.
Hey man, I've learned about a new theme park coming, new theme park expansion. I learned that the side effects of having a big tongue. So hey, I'm 2 up in my book for today. Fucking yeah. Awesome.
Facts. The more you know.
The more hashtag the more you know.
Look how nicely my eyebrows are.
Okay, so now if you folks are listening to this podcast, jump off this shit and go watch it on your YouTube channel, Battle Bros Podcast. Go watch on YouTube channel. Jerry is a fucking handsome man who is very Viking-esque, and it's just like he could probably intimidate the shit out of you, but then you walk up, he's just a big old freaking teddy bear. It's just like, all right,
dude, I'm literally like covered in tattoos.
Yeah. And that's something too. It's like I can imagine. I was reading something earlier this week about how there's a lot of law enforcement agencies that are actually changing their departmental policies on
they're changing
tattoos.
their SOP.
And
Yeah.
not just tattoos, but also facial hair. Like I was reading, I was born in Norfolk, Virginia. My mom and dad lived up there for I think 5 or 6 years or so. I was born while they were up there, and I saw an article a while back where the PD up there is allowing guys to have like full sleeves, facial hair. I mean, as long as it's like, neatly groomed and you're representing the department well, you don't have any like crazy, like, some guy, a monkey fucking a coconut or a goddamn swastika or any crazy shit on you. Like, what is that? Huh? Is that a monkey fucking a coconut with a swastika on it? Like, as long as you're not seeing any weird shit.
I think it is.
Like, yep. The guy that wrote me the ticket was super nice, but I got intimidated as shit when I saw that monkey fucking a coconut tattoo on his arm. I was like, oh, I'm triggered. It's cool to see, it's cool to see how they're kind of relaxing. Everybody used to think, oh, tattoos, biker person, biker gang guy. It's like, shut up, seriously. And then you join the military, and it's like that's a way of fucking life, especially like guys in the Marine Corps. Like that's part of their livelihood, and that's part of their just ethos is just
sleeves, better.
All that kind of shit. So
as long as it don't go past here.
Yes, as long as you can cover it up with like a long sleeve, Class B shirt and whatnot. But well, listen, Jerry, man, I greatly missed it by that much. There you
go. I got the smiley face.
I think the best one I ever saw was a guy had a crosshair. He was a scout sniper in the Marine Corps, and he had a crosshair on his trigger finger. I'm like, that is the dopest shit I've ever seen. Like, I have got a fucking war chubby right now. Good God, man. Hell yeah. But listen, Jerry, I appreciate you coming on our show, man. Thank you for taking the time. So they can go on and check out your organization at mission22.com. Is there a way that they can get a hold of you on that website if they need to, or is it just kind of go into whoever's available?
If they go on mission22.com, they can say, hey, I need to get in touch with the head leader in Florida, and they know exactly who I am.
Awesome.
I'm very well known within the organization, and all they got to do is say, I need to get in touch with the big bearded tattoo guy, Florida, and they will literally know exactly. They're like, oh, yeah. We'll see.
Hopefully, there's not more than one of your organization, because in Florida, it's like you're gonna need to narrow it down just a little bit more.
Oh no. I'm literally I get called intimidating, so they know exactly who I am.
I got you
here. So and I'm grateful for letting you guys come on and shoot the shit with you guys. And
hell yeah, dude, absolutely.
I'm down anytime y'all want to throw it around. I am game.
Fuck. Yes. Well, Jerry, we're going to put you backstage for a few minutes while we wrap this up. And thank you again so much, man. Freddie finger salute. Like,
yeah. I got to go with the thing.
So good, man. All right. We'll put you backstage, Jerry. Thank you so much. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to wrap this up, and we'll get off here, but we'll see you in a bit, okay? Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate it. Oh, that was a good one. I had a feeling. I was just like, I was excited, dude. You don't know. All day at work, dude, I was excited. I'm like, man, I just got to get through this 7-hour day.
Interview today.
Got to get through this day. I got off of work, and I'm like, we are that much closer. Went and had to run an errand for my brother, take his dog out real quick. Did that. Went and got a haircut, and I was like, oh, we're getting that much closer. And then we'll get here tonight. And I'm just like, yeah. So like we always do, folks, we're going to start wrapping up the show. Just kind of a little, quick reminder of who we are, how we got started. So Alamo and I started this journey together. We've known each other since high school, worked together for a little bit in the retail sector, and had a buddy of ours we used to work with who was just Jerry kind of reminds me a lot of John, like just kind of like that same kind of has that gravelly voice and just kind of like that zest for life that is just fucking infectious. Like you get like it's like I don't even met Jerry in person yet, but I just see him and I'm just like, yeah, I could hang out with that guy. Let's go fucking pound some beers. Well, you'll pound beers. I'll drink a cider because I'm a. Never mind. I just killed that vibe. So,
You did.
But yeah, but he kind of Jerry. I think John would like Jerry, and I think vice versa. But John was a friend of ours who was gone all too soon. He had some demons, and he unfortunately solved a temporary problem with a permanent solution. And that's kind of one of the things that we have adopted as a cause, much like Mission 22. That the epidemic of 22 veterans a day, which is why I wear that bracelet right there. And that's a good organization too, Till Valhalla Project. They're actually, I think, out of Jacksonville, Florida. Check them out. Those guys have a really cool mission that they do. But 22 veterans a day on average commit suicide, and it's 22. It's too fucking many. And it sucks when it's one and it's somebody that hurts worse than opposed to 22 random ass people. So we've kind of taken it upon ourselves to kind of join up in the fight, the call to arms to kind of bring this statistic down and to combat that epidemic. So in remembrance of John, this is how we got started, and we kind of were thinking about how do we tell people that they can go and keep fighting and keep their head in the game. And we came up with the Battle Bros code, and it's easy to remember. You just have to remember the letters BROS. And we're gonna go over that real quick. So be tenacious. I'm gonna go a little bit off norm from what I normally say about being tenacious, and I'm gonna use our good man Jerry. Be tenacious. Be like fucking Jerry. Jerry works 65 hours a week doing field tech stuff as a mechanic. He also does a bunch of other shit. He works on top of that and volunteers his time for Mission 22 to talk about and bring awareness to suicide and to break that stigma.
Yeah. It's one of those things, like it's kind of like you say, like kind of like that phrase of like, it's not really work when you love what you do.
Yeah, dude. God damn it, I love you, man. Like I was just thinking that earlier. I'm like, it's love what you do. You never work a day in your life. Like seriously, right, man. I think that's fucking absolutely true. But yeah, be tenacious. Be like Jerry. Jerry goes out there and he does all this cool shit, and he's teaching me about stuff that I didn't know about an hour and a half ago. Like, all right, cool. There's what Super Mario World. What? They call me pants because I'm down. Hell yeah. So, but yeah, be tenacious. Go out there and do things to the fullest. The story he told about that owner of that gym, that rock climbing gym, coming up and just fucking melting into this guy's arm because he was just like, I thought about my sister. Like, be tenacious. Tell people, man, they're not alone. That's the most important message. Is like, you do not have to go through this alone. Refuse to surrender. Like we talked about, there are a lot of things that are going to get you sideways, especially when it comes to the unfortunate effects of suicide. That's why they have, survivor's guilt, survivor syndrome.
Yeah.
Once you're gone, unfortunately, that person's gone. But a lot of times you have the other people in their family, their friends, that have to kind of pick up the pieces after that. Like Jerry said, he had to deal with that with his father, unfortunately. And, like him never picking up golf clubs. Like, I just, not trying to turn this around on me, but, my birthday was Monday. And my birthdays are for the last 4 years have been kind of bittersweet because that was the same day that my dad went into the hospital for the last time. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of shitty. But at the same time, I have, I try to do what I can to go out and celebrate and just kind of take a moment, pause, and just be like, hooray for me. But, like when shit like that happens, man, take time and stop for a minute and take stock in what you got. I mean, there's a lot of things out there that could easily go south, but like, you got a roof over your head, cool. You got shoes on your feet, awesome. You got a place to sleep, cool. It might be in the mud, but hey, you got a place to sleep. So whatever it is, whatever's going to happen in life is going to happen. Okay. Refuse to surrender no matter how bad it gets, whether it's, something that knocks your dick in the dirt and kicks you down in the mud, and dust yourself off, pick yourself up and fucking drive on. Okay. Oh, obliterate your obstacles. There are, kind of going with what we just talked about with refusing to surrender. There's a lot of things that will kind of get you sideways and, get you twisted. Sometimes, when you're trying to hit your objective, you're trying to hit that goal, you might have to take a little bit of an extra step or a little bit of an extra part of the journey to get there. You might have to go over a wall. You might have to dig under a wall. You might have to go around the damn wall. You might have to swim through a moat of alligator infested water. Who knows? Sometimes you got to breach that wall.
Swim in a pool of sharks with laser beams attached to their freaking heads.
Thank you, Dr. Evil. That was a great tie-in. I was like, what impersonation is it? Oh, okay. Sometimes if you got to breach that wall, hey, man, you got to hit that shit with some Bangalores and some C4, or sometimes do what Alamo here did one time and just drive the ass end of a striker into it. Oops, my bad. So, yeah, whatever you got to do, obliterate your obstacles and keep driving on until you hit that mission and hit that objective and hit that, that goal. And that's all you can do. Fourth and final, S, seek out help in a time of need. As we talked about with this whole episode, there are times when things get rough. There are times when you may feel down and you may feel like there's no way out. You're feeling like that permanent solution to the temporary problem might be the way for you. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not.
Yeah.
Just like with John, I wish that we didn't have to do this podcast if it meant him still being here. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to bring him back because John was such a funny fucker, man. And I say that every episode, but I will tell you, he was just the nicest guy. Funny fucker, full of life, piss and vinegar, and the occasional six-pack. But he was a good dude to be around, man. He was so funny. He was so just... He made work so much fun. Just the dumb shit we would do and get in trouble with and not get in trouble with and not get caught by the skin of our teeth. It's like, yeah, absolutely. Whatever that looks like for you. If you have, loved ones, whether it be family members, whether it's people you served with, whether it's, friends from work, whatever the case may be, reach out to them. Tell them, hey, I'm not in a good place. I need some help. If you don't have a means of getting help, there are resources out there for you. Okay. One of those resources is the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, which is going to be, there's actually two ways to get a hold of them now. The old way, the more established way, I should say, is their 800 number. It's 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. And then as of, I think, July, they just started up a 3-digit prefix, 988. You can either call or text 988 and it'll get you in touch with somebody that can help you out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have somebody there that will be able to talk to you, kind of help you work out what you're going through, maybe get you the help you need long term or whatnot. And just to give a shout out back to Jerry and his guys, there's also the organization mission22.com. Go on that website, check it out. They have some extremely awesome and amazing web resources, that they can reach out for, that you can reach out to and hopefully get yourself a part of and enrolled with and whatnot. Just the whole fact of using BJJ as therapy, like the whole human playing chess with your body, that sounded very intriguing to me. Am I going to do it? No, I'm not trying to I don't want somebody to turn me into a fucking Hanover's pretzel or nothing like that and start sprinkling salt on me. There you go. But, call me a pussy. I don't give a shit. Fuck. I know my limitations, and it's called not being flexible and limber. So I'm not trying to end up looking like a damn Picasso with my hands over my ear and shit. So, but just know, folks, that there's something out there for you to get help with or from, or person, organization like Mission 22. Even if it's reaching out to us, and Alamo's going to talk about that here in a minute. But just know that you're not alone. You deserve to be here. We want to hear your story. And you can always pass along your knowledge and wisdom to the next generation, much like we talked about with the Vietnam vets, with guys in the GWAT generation. That's in the next war that comes along, it'll be us passing along and being the advocates and the ambassadors for those guys. So just remember that you're not alone, and there's somebody here to help you, or there's something here to help you. And reach out and get the help that you need where you can. So I'm going to turn it over here to Alamo. He's going to finish wrapping it up, and then we'll be out of here for the day. So for the week, I should say. So all yours, bud.
So if you want to go ahead and catch us on the social medias, you can do that over on www.facebook.com/battlebros.podcast. You can also find us on the Insta at battlebros_podcast. If you want to communicate with us, you can do that via WhatsApp on the Facebook page. All you got to do is click that little green button that's right down there, and you can actually instant message us, or you can send us a voice message. Also, we have our own personal email where you can go ahead and send us any messages, suggestions, or any kind of thing that you feel like sending us. Even if it's a message with a big "fuck you," hey, whatever, cool. I mean, we prefer not to, but hey, anything works.
Let me interrupt. I will tell you the two things that we're looking for. Number one, we are still looking for that first person to tell Alexa that they want to hear the Battle Bros podcast.
Yes.
That would be dope. Send that video clip in, and we will give you the mighty praise that you will deserve for being the first one. Number two, if you remember a guest of ours from a while back, Brian Ellis, he is a good friend of the show. He gives us a lot of material for when we talk about subject matter-based shows. We are still his screening service.
Yes.
Or finding a young lady or a guy. I don't know if he's going to matter if it's a guy. Maybe he just might end up being a Jeep guy, and he'll hang out with you and talk about Jeeps and, cool guy shit. So whatever. I don't think he'd mind the companionship, but, if you think you might be a good catch, let us know. Drop us a line. Just say, hey. Yeah. And just in the subject field, just put regarding Brian's boo for. Oh, there we go. Regarding boo for Brian. That's what you do.
Damn right. And you Absolutely. Can do that. And you can do that.
He's going to be so pissed if he hears it.
Yes, he is. That battle.
Brian, I love you, buddy. I'm just looking out for your best interests at heart, buddy.
BattleBrosPC@gmail.com. Also,
oh God,
you can catch us over on all dem audio platforms.
All dams.
All DEMS platforms, which includes the Spotify, the Anchor, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Overcast, Amazon Music, Castbox, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and Stitcher.
You can also check out our channel on YouTube if you want to check that out. Go to the Battle Bros podcast on search that on youtube.com. We have all of our podcasts that have been filmed.
Correct.
There's actually one episode that's actually on YouTube that's not on Spotify, and that is episode 10, where it was our first of a 2-part series talking about 9/11.
Yeah,
and that was last year, about a week shy of last year. It for whatever reason we had some kind of issue, and it's not available on the Spotify or the Anchor or whatnot. So the only way to watch it is on YouTube, unfortunately. So
yeah. Also, you can catch us on Rumble from this point forward. I believe from episode, I think it was like 18 and on. All of our episodes that we record live go straight to the Rumble. So
yeah,
if you're looking for another video platform to go ahead and watch our stuff, you can do that over on what the hell? You can do that over on Rumble, and make sure you hit and like that Rumble button. Also, here on the YouTube that we're recording live, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and share, which is the most important way to get our message out there, because right now YouTube's algorithms are freaking weird, and they don't like doing it, and they don't like letting our message be out there unless it's shared a whole bunch. So sharing is caring, y'all.
And to double tap on what Alamo was talking about, it's not necessarily about you watching it. It might be somebody that you tell, kind of pass it forward, pay it forward kind of thing. So it's like, hey,
right.
I just watched this podcast. These two guys on here. The one guy's good looking. The other guy's got a big ass fucking head, but whatever. Check it out. It's pretty cool. They talk about cool shit, and then they pass it on, and they pass on, and it gets to somebody that needs to hear this message. That like Damn tonight, right. Where we talked to Jerry about benefits that are available to active duty or veterans of the military and stuff. And if it helps to get them healthy and in a better place in their life, man, so fucking be it. Let's do this together. It's not just us. It's not just guys like Jerry. It's you, the folks out there in the members of the Battle Bro Legion. Let's make this shit happen. Okay.
Damn right.
Yep.
And
Jesus
also,
Christ, you just yelled in my ears. God, dog, man.
support the show over on Anchor if you feel like it. Hey, we're not going to beg for it. We're not going to ask for it. But if you feel like it, you could do that over on the Anchor app, or you could do that at Anchor FM, where on our show's webpage, you can go ahead and click the little support button and donate your fair share of anywhere from $1 or a custom donation. It's all up to you. Also, I have left a little link in the description for the website to Mission 22. And you can find that down in the description box on our YouTube page, where you can go ahead and click that, and it'll take you directly to Mission 22. And you can find all the resources you need there as well. Other than that, brother, I got nothing else.
Awesome sauce. So, once again, everybody, thanks for stopping in and joining our episode. We appreciate it. Whether you watch this live, whether you're listening, whether it's, I don't know, a year more than down the road and you're going back and watching it going, this wasn't a bad one. We appreciate you stopping in. You know, if it was the first time, awesome. If you came back, more awesome. Great. That means you actually like us enough, or you think I'm an idiot, and you're just going to be like, I want to see what he says to fuck up today. All right, cool. Which is fine. I get that. I need a thesaurus sometimes because I sound like a moron. So it's good. That's part of my charm. But it's all good. I will tell you that we have 3 episodes left in our second season. It'll end on episode 44. I don't exactly know what the next 2 are going to bring, but I will give you a sneak peek. Episode 44, which is going to be the final episode of season 2, is going to be a fucking whiz banger of a show. It is going to be fucking amazeballs. It's going to be awesome. We just lined up and got confirmation of a special guest we're going to have come in. I don't know how long we're going to be on the phone talking or on the air talking, but it's going to be just a fantastic show. It's going to be a great discussion with somebody that I have come to know and respect the last few years of my life, and just somebody I consider one of my closest friends and confidants and mentors and whatnot. And that's all I'm going to say. Just, it's going to be freaking crazy. Not that the next 2 aren't, but this one's going to be really good. But we're going to, come up with some good stuff to talk about the next 2 shows. But 3 weeks, mark my words, it's going to be fucking awesome. So, with that being said, thanks again for stopping in and checking out the Battle Bros podcast. This has been episode 041, where we talk with Jerry Strickland from Mission 22. Jerry, thank you so much. I fucking love that big beard energy you got going on, dude. Like, no, not trying to make it weird, but you fucking rock, brother. Like, kick ass. Keep on keeping on, as they said in Joe Dirt. So, thanks for stopping in. We appreciate your viewership. Thank you for, giving us a look or a listen or both. Come back and check us out the next time. And until then, just remember, be tenacious, refuse to surrender, obliterate your obstacles, and seek out help in a time of need. If you can do those 4 things, you're going to be on a good road and a good path. So until the next time, this has been the Battle Bros podcast. Thank you so much for watching or listening. We love you. We respect you. We fucking want to see more of you. And you stay classy.
Battle Bros out.
Laters.